World War I was changed forever by a single train ride, a journey so secret, so dangerous, that it would reshape the entire world. This is the incredible true story of how Vladimir Lenin traveled across enemy territory in a sealed train car to spark the Russian Revolution. April 1917. Lenin sits in exile in Switzerland, furious and desperate. The Russian Tsar has just abdicated, and revolution is erupting across his homeland. But there's one massive problem. Lenin is stuck thousands of miles away, and every route back to Russia is blocked by the Great War raging across Europe. The British Navy controls the seas. French territory is a war zone. The only path home runs directly through Germany, Russia's mortal enemy. It seems impossible. But then, a mysterious German diplomat approaches Lenin with an offer that sounds too good to be true. "We can get you home," he whispers. Here's where the story gets absolutely wild. The Germans have a plan so audacious it borders on insanity. They want to transport Lenin, the leader of the Russian revolutionaries, across their entire country in secret. Why would Germany help their enemy's revolutionary? The answer is pure strategic genius. The Germans realize that Lenin could be their secret weapon. If he returns to Russia and successfully overthrows the government, Russia might withdraw from the war. This would free up millions of German troops to fight on the Western Front. It's a gamble that could win them World War I. But there's a catch. Lenin cannot be seen cooperating with Germany. If word gets out that he's working with the enemy, his revolutionary credibility will be destroyed forever. The solution? A sealed train car. Lenin and his fellow revolutionaries will travel locked inside, with no contact with Germans. On April 9, 1917, the most dangerous train journey in history begins. 32 Russian revolutionaries, including Lenin and his wife, board a single railway car in Switzerland. The car is literally sealed shut. Guards are posted outside. No one can enter or exit until they reach the Russian border. The tension inside that train car must have been unbearable. Lenin knows that if they're discovered, they'll be arrested as German spies. Worse, if German authorities change their minds, the revolutionaries could simply disappear forever. But Lenin is determined. This is his only chance to return home and seize power. The train crosses through Germany like a ghost. At every stop, German soldiers guard the sealed car. Local officials are told nothing about the mysterious passengers inside. For 3 days and nights, Lenin and his companions remain locked away, traveling through the heart of enemy territory completely invisibly. Think about the incredible irony here. The future leader of communist Russia is being secretly transported by the German Kaiser's government. Two ideologies that will later become mortal enemies are working together in this moment. Lenin must have realized he was making a deal with the devil, but revolution requires sacrifice. On April 12th, something extraordinary happens. The sealed train finally reaches the Swedish border. Lenin and his fellow revolutionaries are released from their mobile prison. They've successfully crossed enemy territory without being detected. But the most dangerous part of their journey still lies ahead. Returning to Russia itself, Lenin boards a ferry across the Baltic Sea, then another train through Finland. With each mile closer to Petrograd, the tension builds. Will the Russian authorities arrest him as a German agent? Will his own supporters reject him for traveling through enemy territory? Everything Lenin has worked for hangs in the balance. Finally, on the night of April 16, 1917, Lenin's train pulls into Finland station in Petrograd. Thousands of workers and soldiers have gathered, not knowing what to expect. Lenin steps onto the platform, after years in exile, and delivers one of the most explosive speeches in history, calling for immediate revolution. What happens next changes everything. Within 7 months, Lenin has overthrown the Russian government, established Soviet rule, and signed a separate peace with Germany. The Germans' gamble paid off spectacularly. Russia withdraws from World War I, exactly as planned. One train ride literally reshaped the modern world. But here's the twist that makes this story even more incredible. Lenin's secret deal with Germany remains hidden for decades. Soviet propaganda portrays his return as a heroic journey, never mentioning German assistance. The truth about the sealed train only emerges years later, revealing one of history's greatest conspiracies. The consequences of Lenin's train journey are staggering. The Russian Revolution leads to the creation of the Soviet Union. World War I ends differently because Russia exits early. The entire 20th century, the Cold War, space race, nuclear standoff, all traces back to that single secret train ride across Germany in 1917. Imagine if that train had been discovered. If Lenin had been arrested or killed during the journey, Stalin might never have risen to power. There might have been no Soviet Union, no Cold War, no Berlin Wall. The entire modern world could have developed completely differently. One train, one decision, infinite consequences. This story perfectly demonstrates how single moments in history can change everything. Lenin's willingness to risk everything, Germany's strategic gamble, and the incredible secrecy that made it all possible. These elements combine to create one of the most consequential journeys in human history. Subscribe if you want more untold stories like this one that shaped our world. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.